gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency, and this time, I believe we are going to go with Wes. So this shall be Wes's path, and, this was Luke. Alright, so this is Wes's path, so y'all, this will be a Wes run, and the next one will be Cedric. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you were up, and let's go, girl! Alright, Wes. As you wander through the castle, you're drawn towards the sound of metal hitting metal. Grunts of exertion leak out of an ajar door in the hallway. Wait, 1 second. Is this... I don't know. No. I don't know if this is fully what... We'll just go. Okay. We'll just go with it. Either people are fighting with swords or a bunch of robots are having group sex. You should probably check it out just to make sure. As you get closer, you can see that the sounds seem to be coming from a training room of some kind. Looking inside, you see a sand pit lined with dummies made of straw and burlap. Dull swords and shields hang from the stone walls. The main attraction is the fight taking place in the center of the room. Wes wields a circular steel shield on one arm, rotating in place as 3 other fighters attempt to surround him. He never lets them. One breaks formation too early, lunging at him with their sword, but Wes easily knocks aside the attack with his bulwark. He moves fast, each paw finding quick, confident footing in the loose sand below him. He catches your eye, then knocks back one soldier with the surface of the shield, catches the hilt of another sword with the edge of his shield, and sweeps the leg of the final assailant out from under him. He lowers his shield against his thigh, panting slightly in exertion. Let's take a break. Wes nods to the fighter, sprawled out across the sand, and joins you at the door. Hey, been a weird day. What's up? It's not hard to notice that his expression is easier here, less guarded than when you'd met him in class. Maybe it's because he's been fighting, or maybe it's your arrival in this world. Maybe it's the way his fur is matted with his sweat, his ample bosom heaving with every breath, like a woman on the cover of a cheesy romance novel, as he runs a large hand through his fur on top of his head. Whatever it is, he looks more relaxed. Just wanted to see you. I was, looking at, for you. If Wes notices your slip of the tongue, he gratefully doesn't comment on it. Oh, okay. Did Remus send you? He said I should look around, so here I am. Cool. Well, this is the training room. He gestures to the scene behind him, where his opponents are getting up and brushing sand from their pants. This is my shield. He holds up his arm. Engraved on the shield's metal surface is a simple design of curling ivy. The rim is lined with a decorative golden trim and wide metal bolts. It's taken quite a beating, but you can tell the metal is well taken care of. You see your own blurry reflection on its surface. Have you tried your sword yet? No, not yet. You know anything about fighting with a sword? Nothing. I would say I know, but I'd say I know about nothing at all. Here, let me show you. Wes motions for you to get in a ready stance, pretending to pull a sword from his hip. In the back of your mind, you think that you should get a scabbard for this thing. You've been carrying it all around since this entire time like a lost kid in a toy store. You want to hold it like this. Wes guides you through the basics of gripping the sword, letting you copy his movements and stances. He shows you a few simple thrusts, how to follow through with your attacks, and how to maintain your balance while striking. You're not usually the most athletic guy, but it comes to you surprisingly easy. The sword begins to feel like an extension of your arm. After a while, it starts to feel like a very tired extension of your arm. Wes, meanwhile, doesn't seem to be flagging. His hand reaches for yours as he adjusts your grip on the hilt, fingers firm and calloused from training. You feel a smooth band of a ring against your knuckles, where Wes's left ring finger brushes against your hand. It looks fancy, not to mention expensive. You can't help but feel a little curious. Wait, I want him to keep touching my hand a little bit longer. You let Wes's hands guide you as he helps you handle your sword. Wink, wink. The pads of his palms are tough, but they're gentle as they direct your grip. The ring brushes your fingers each time you touch. Come on, it's on the wedding ring finger. You have to ask about it. Cool ring. Where'd you get it? This? It's from my family. He examines the back of his hand with a furrowed brow, like he's just as confused by it as you are. It was my father's, and his father's before him. You know, one of those things that gets passed down from father to son. Like male pattern baldness? Yeah, sort of. My dad gave it to me when it seemed like I'd be taking his place. His place? At the company. Wes is usually terse, but he seems unusually so with the subject. Ask about his feelings! No, wait, respect the boundaries. Less talking, more touching. Oh, okay. So, how about that end of the world stuff, huh? But attention leaves Wes's body. He seems to appreciate the change in subject. I don't get it either. Remus has been dropping hints about the resolution for quite a while now, but we couldn't do anything about it until we had all three pieces. One second, y'all. Oh, over here. There we go. Alright, coffee time. Oh, my lovely, sexy partner is making breakfast for us. Scrambled eggs with French toast. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. And now that we have you, well, I guess we can finally go after the heart and save the world or whatever. So what's the heart? Wes shrugs. Probably a rock or a monster you'll have to fight. Maybe a rock monster. It's not really my job to know more than that. I just have to hit things and get hit with my big shield, and I leave the rest of it to other people. What happens after we save the world? What do we do then? Anything you want, I guess. Wes frowns in thought. Before this stuff really started happening, the world was different. Nicer. I used to come down here all the time. I'd take walks down to the town, explore and sit by the river. The water's so much clearer here. You could probably drink straight from the stream if you wanted. We should do that together. I'd love to go with you sometime. Find me when I'm free, and I'll show you around the place, but you're not missing much right now. I used to help people out in town. Someone would get stuck under a cart, or lose a family heirloom where a monster would be ruining their farm. I'd fix their problems, and they'd invite me to dinner or give me money. I didn't need the money, and I didn't have to help them, but it was nice to do things just because I could. I liked having that choice. Do you still do that now? Wes shakes his head. The town was abandoned when the resolution caught up to it. There's a big rift of void between it and the river now. Well, the wells dried up, the grain stopped growing, people left. There was nothing left to do, and there was nothing I could do about it. Are you gonna miss it if the world ends? I guess, yeah. Mostly I'd miss hitting stuff with my shield. And being free to do what you want. Ugh. Wait, that wouldn't be fun. Exactly. That's why it's important that this place survives. When this is all over, we should go and kill some stuff. You don't usually get asked to hang out and kill stuff. It's very flattering. Wes doesn't have a lot to say, but he lets you hang around a little longer, watching him go through his routine. Eventually, you begin to feel like you're overstaying your welcome. It's time to head out. Who do you visit next? Let's do Luke. You wander deeper through the halls until the sound of clicking catches your attention. Peeking into the door, you're greeted by the sight of an old library. Huge shelves of books spiral past the first floor and into uncountable floors above. Wooden banisters supporting a winding, rickety staircase with polished steps. You can practically smell the wood varnish and parchment from the doorway. In the center of the room is Luke, hunched over a table as he flips page after page of a dusty tome, taking notes in his laptop. His mouth is pulled in a thoughtful frown as he speeds through the book. Piles and piles of books are stacked around him like a defensive barricade. Hello? Oh, Kieran, how's it going? Come here often? Luke's eyes snap upwards, and the pensive look is gone, replaced by his usual self-satisfied smirk. 1 second, y'all. Coffee time. No, actually, first time. Figures. I feel like I'd have recognized you if I'd seen you here before. What's up with the books? Luke glances down at the mess below his paws, looking almost disgusted by the disarray. Nothing, just looking for something. The world building in this place isn't very thorough, though, so it's hard to find anything useful. World building? Yeah, world building, you know, like details about how the world works. Lore, geography, population information. Every person who took a shit last Friday at noon. What are you looking for? At the end of the world, ideally. Remus says this stuff happens in cycles, so someone has to have written about it, right? Who would have written about something like that? People who write stuff down, obviously. He holds up several books, pointing to each author. Arthur Higglesbottom, Genevieve Potter's Lane, Irving Minestrone. A bunch of medieval-sounding names that escape your memory as soon as they enter. These books are useless. There's nothing in there that Remus hasn't already told us. What has he told you? Oh, you know, the usual. There's a big terrible thing called the Resolution that's going to destroy the world, blah blah blah. It leaves behind this thing called Void. That's the empty pockets you saw earlier in the hall. And eventually this whole place will become like that, unless we stop it. It's not very original if you ask me. Right. So this place is real? Do you believe in this stuff? You keep talking about this like you don't really believe. Where even are we? Is this real life? What even is reality? You pull a face. No one's ever in the mood for an undergraduate philosophy discussion. Just kidding, that was a joke, on purpose. Honestly, I don't know, but hey, check this out. Check it out! Luke takes a step away from his desk, facing a bookshelf against the back wall. He bends his arms so that his paws are stretched away from his face. Wingardium Leviosa! The contents of the entire bookshelf fly from their shelves in a cacophonous flutter of paper and binding, dust blooming around the site of destruction. Books thud over one another on the hardwood ground, others ricocheting off nearby bookcases and off the table. Loose papers fly from their bindings and spines crack. Pretty cool, huh? The Force has displaced a necklace around Luke's chest, an amber-gemmed amulet that glows faintly with residual magic. No way, this place has magic too? Was that real magic? Holy crap, that's so cool. Maybe you can do magic too. Not impressed, huh? You shrug. The dust begins to settle on the covers of the scattered books, revealing the state of disarray the library has fallen into. Do you need to reverse Leviosa this, or... What? No way! Magic is supposed to be cool. It's for fireballs and death rays, not house cleaning. Besides, magic's better for breaking things than fixing them. Luke shrugs. Someone will come and clean this up eventually, and if they don't, well, the world's gonna end anyways. What do you think is gonna happen when the world ends? When everything dies? I don't know. I assume we'll all be shunted back to the real world, and then we'll never be able to come back here. His nose twitches in irritation. Don't get me wrong, I'm gonna help out with this quest or whatever, but I'm not exactly overflowing with optimism. You don't think we'll be able to reach the mountain? Rim Mountain? Sure. You might be able to stab the heart of the world with your big, massive, throbbing sword, but what then? I thought that was supposed to fix everything. Maybe it'll be like turning it off and back on again. None of the books mention anything about this. Whatever. My job is to be the sarcastic auntie here with the heart of gold. I'm leaving worrying to everyone else. Luke smiles ruefully. With a snap of his fingers, the books lift themselves from the floor and shake off the dust that's landed on their covers. Their spines snap back into place, folded pages uncreasing. The books form a single-file line as they begin to shelve themselves again, each slotting itself in its proper place with a satisfying shunk. An errant book nips at Luke's arm before he tells it. Hey, watch it! I'm not doing this for you! The book tucks its ribbon between its pages, pathetically cowering from him. Yeah, that's right. I'll make a bonfire out of you. Thought suppression style. Second, y'all. Coffee time. Okay. The book cards its pages in fear, and Luke frowns as he bats it back into line. You talk to books? Can you actually understand what they're saying? No, obviously not. When's the last time you understood what a book was trying to say? He's got a point. So can anyone learn how to do magic, or... Sorry, I'm the only one who gets the power, thanks to my swag, the swag bling. He holds up his amulet with his thumb, the gem pulsing gently with power. You're a little disappointed, but it feels ungrateful to complain about what flavor of chosen one you get to be. Hey, don't worry, swinging around a big stick is cool too. You think so? Ha! No, carrying a big stick is fine, but talking as loud as possible at all times is cooler, like this. Fire! Luke's hands light up in flames, leaving streaks of light as he moves them through the air. He juggles orbs of fire from one hand to the other. Mimes shock at nearly dropping one, then catches the airborne flames handily in a single paw, extinguishing them by closing his fist. Don't try that in a crowded theater. Do you have to shout a word every time? No, you don't have to do anything. But why do magic if you don't want everyone looking at you? Luke shows you a few more moves, really enjoying the chance to show off his powers to someone new. He produces a miniature hailstorm, moves a coin from one ear to the other, and produces a porcelain tea set from a pocket dimension. Eventually, he informs you that he's running out of juice and shoos you out of the library. He has work he should be doing. Who do you visit next? Cedric. You wander the castle halls looking for Cedric, poking your head in and out of the many rooms of the Citadel. You don't find him, but you do discover several empty kitchens, lounges, and studies, each of varying style and size. One room, you think, is a huge indoor pool. It's only when you spot a sink and a toilet that you realize it's a bathtub. Finally, one nondescript door at the end of the hall opens into a second, smaller hallway. The hall is adorned with maps decorating its walls, ceilings, and floors. Some of the maps are familiar. There's a few continents and countries that you recognize, but the vast majority of them are completely foreign. The maps depict places you've never even heard of. Some of them look like crude renditions by children. Others depict entire galaxies and star systems. Cedric sits on the bench by a window, staring at the ceiling. Hey, what is this place? What is this place? Cedric's ears perk up at your approach. Oh, hey! This is the map room. You follow his gaze, your eyes tracing a meandering route around the arched ceilings of the hall. It seems much bigger than just a room. It has a map of every place ever, I think. Or just a copy of every map ever. I still haven't figured it out. Check this out. Cedric rises and approaches the map across from him. It's old. It's old, crafted with ink on parchment. A sea serpent slithers through a roiling sea. You don't recognize any of the names on the map. Cedric gently places his paw on the parchment and gives it a slight push, meeting some resistance before the panel starts to slide open. Each map has, or had, a corresponding door. He slides the portion of the wall open, but there's nothing there, just the darkness of void. But not anymore. How long have you been here? How long have you been in this place? 4 years. He sighs. I first came down here when I was a freshman. I took a wrong turn, went down those steps, and ended up here, just like you. 4 years ago? That's when you guys started drifting apart. You used to be inseparable, then suddenly 10 years of friendship treated like an awkward one-night stand. You didn't know what had happened. Most of your time together on campus was spent avoiding eye contact with each other, the only acknowledgement that you'd ever known each other in the first place. Well, that and the BFF's Forever pendant the two of you ironically got. You still have the first half stuffed away in your sock drawer somewhere. You had the BF4 portion, best friends for a certain period of time and no longer, you guess. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Time for me to eat breakfast. I love you all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!